The anime begins. Our main protagonist of the anime Lycoris Recoil is Chisato Nishikigi, who was called by her boss, who informed her to go and carry out an operation. The robbers can be seen holding innocent people at gunpoint. Luckily for the people, the Lycoris group is there to see them. Fuki called the headquarters for an order to attack the robbers, but they didn't get any. Chisato ran hurriedly climbing the staircase, but she happened to be late because the robbers were becoming impatient. They had captured one of the Lycoris females, so the other Lycoris was scared to shoot. Takina Inoue couldn't hold her temper anymore, so she began shooting at the thieves before they harm anyone further. Her colleagues accused her of almost making the criminals kill their friend, Erica. At the station, her behavior wasn't condoned, so the leaders transferred her to another organization, and she felt so sad leaving, but she had no choice. On getting to the new place she was transferred to, she was welcomed warmly. At first, she mistook a lady for Chisato, but later got to know that the lady was Mizuki. So she anxiously waited for the best Lycoris, Chisato. Just then, Chisato entered the room, and Takina got to know that she has a very funny character in nature. It was almost unbelievable that she is the best Lycoris because of her character. When they were walking alone, Chisato chatted happily, causing Takina to further wonder. Later, it was discovered that Takina was sent not because of her mistake but because the higher-ups are trying to cover up their mistakes. Chisato happily showed Takina to people that she knew, but at a point, they weren't allowed into the company. When the owner of the company knew that Chisato was around, he angrily lifted the guard with his collar, so the exclusive guest would come in. During a discussion, Chisato got to know that Takina doesn't wish to stay with them for long, rather she wants to redeem her reputation and then go back to the headquarters. So they decided to handle their job smartly so Takina would be pardoned to go back to the headquarters. The scared lady told them about how some strange men had been tailing her and her husband. Just by zooming in on the evidence that they have, Chisato notices some powerful clam in the background, and when the last wasn't with them any longer, she cried out that some powerful men are after the couple. To protect her, she told Miss Saori playfully that they would like to stay over at her place, and the lady agreed. But after a while, she took permission to come back in a while and then left Takina with Saori. Both ladies walked alone to Saori in the dark, and Takina soon realized that some men were following them. So she left Miss Saori alone to lure the men, who hurriedly kidnapped the young lady. Then she began to shoot at them while standing directly in front of their car. Chisato, who arrived, angrily stopped Takina. She reprimanded Takina for killing the men, then instructed her to destroy the secret drone that had been capturing their movement. So Takina destroyed it skillfully. Chisato appeared in front of the men and she began shooting them. She skillfully dodged their bullets and shot them all. Miss Saori was saved, but the enemies finally captured the face of the best Lycoris, Chisato. At the cafe, the head of the Lycoris came over to chat with Chisato and others, but unknowingly, they didn't know that he was the real criminal hiding behind his men. Days later, they began preparing for another operation which her master said is very dangerous. The best Lycoris master, Teach. On the bus, Takina tried to update her about the operation, but Chisato wasn't listening like always. It was when they were about to get to the operation site that she began asking questions about their operation. On seeing the car that they would use for operation, Chisato was very happy to finally ride the newly released model, but she later got sad when she noticed that they were transported in a smaller model. The person they were to save wore a squirrel cloth to hide their identity, but later, they discovered that the enemies have hacked their car and are currently controlling the movement of their car. To prevent them from controlling me further, the two ladies destroyed a drone that was monitoring their movement. Later, in a storage room, the enemies tracked them down and began shooting them. Chisato told Takina to save the hacker they were with, so she faced the enemies. Even the shooter was scared because none of the bullets happened to hit her. After a while, Chisato shot the men down. But guess what? She used rubber bullets which couldn't kill the enemies. When they woke up, she tended to their injury. While about to leave, the enemies told Chisato not to pass the opening, but then the person they were trying to save mistakenly passed the place and sadly got shot dead by the killers. Later, they discovered that it was Kuzumi that had acted as the escort they were to save, and the real person wasn't harmed. Once again, Mr. Yoshi came to check if his plan was successful, but Teach began to suspect his frequent visit. One day, when Takina accidentally heard that Chisato was going to meet the commander while half-dressed, she came out and begged them to follow her to the headquarters. At the headquarters, the people backbit about her. They kept bad-mouthing her even to her face, so when she couldn't take it any longer, she ran away to hide, feeling hurt. While watching the waterfall, she told Chisato about her passion for being a top Lycoris and how much she's practiced and worked hard to earn the title. Chisato calmed her down and promised to help her out only if she still later had an interest in staying at the headquarters and not at their cafe shop. Because Fuki had previously challenged Chisato to a fight, Erika was called to come out and watch the fight, but she felt sad for Takina, who was cast out because of her. They used a paint gun for their fight, but a few seconds after starting, Chisato defeated Sakura, who was bad-mouthing Takina openly. As Fuki wanted to shoot Chisato from the back, Takina smartly shot down Fuki, making the other Lycoris shocked because she brought down one of the best Lycorises. Over time, the ladies became closer and they began to see each other as one family. Even when Chisato noticed that Takina had always been putting on men's shorts as underwear, 650, she took her out shopping. They went sightseeing, and had a lot of fun, which strengthened their bond the more. Later they had a mission to save a man that was paralyzed, Mr. Matsushita. When he got to their cafe shop, Chisato welcomed him happily. To make him comfortable, Chisato told him her little secret, which is her dead heart. She makes use of the peacemaker chain to breathe. They later took the man sightseeing, and he enjoyed her company. Having toured for a while, he took a break and went to his room. Takina finally had the chance to speak with Chisato, so he asked if it was true that she has a dead heart, and Chisato confirmed it to be true. Later, Chisato received information that a man named Jin was about to kill their escort. So Takina went to take him down. When the man heard that Jin was around, he wanted to be present at the place they would take Jin down. Meanwhile, he was behind them. To take him down, Chisato faced him bravely and skillfully shot him down. But sooner, they realized that Mr. Matsushita wasn't the one speaking to them but an unknown person. So he was taken to the hospital for treatment. Later, Takina suspected that Chisato would be in danger soon, so she volunteered to live with her, till the enemies were gone. Due to the repeated failure, Robota, the enemy's hacker, was severely warned and threatened. He was given just a few days to get things in the right order by providing them with accurate information. He helped them in successfully tracking down Chisato's home, but she was able to skillfully chase them. Finally, one of the Lycoris enemies finally got to know who Chisato was. So they set off to kill her. While she was out on a journey, they knocked her down with their car and kidnapped her. But the smart Chisato deceived them and single-handedly shot down the men. The hacker helped them in getting her back, but with Teach's help, she was able to escape from the group. To finally put an end to the evil men's doings, Mizuki and Kurumi are to travel to another country so they could be saved. The people soon began to realize that Marina is the real evil person behind the deeds, though Mr. Yoshi might have partnered. Majina captured Mr. Yoshi and laughed at the thought of what would happen if everyone were to realize that Mr. Yoshi was involved in their sinful deeds. Mizuki and Kurumi's departure was a sad one, but Chisato tried looking happy. Takina attacked one of the enemy men to learn the truth. Because she harshly threatened the man, he revealed that Yoshi was one of the master planners. Majina bravely introduced himself to society openly, so the people thought of a way to defeat him. However, it is sad that the Chisato peacemaker would be stopped if we decided to stop working with Lycoris. The whole country began to see Majina as a threat and they shiver in fear of what he could do. Robota, the enemy hacker, later chose wisely, so he helped Chisato and Teach out in successfully taking down Majina. The other Lycoris were as well instructed to head out to the enemy's camp and kill them on sight. However, Takina felt that there was a trap as the occurrence looked suspicious to her. She spoke to Fuki about the plan, but Fuki laughed widely. But she later warned her of taking any unordered actions because it would cost her being a member of Lycoris. But it seems like Takina is right and Robota had successfully deceived her. Majin once again showed himself to the whole public. And amid the crowd, a man secretly brought out a gun and shot down a girl he perceived to be a Lycoris member. Later on, Majina caused a lot of bloodbaths on the street, but once again, Chisato appeared and began saving the people by killing the enemies. When faced with Majina with the bonded Yoshi, she smartly dodged his bullet and later captured him. He was to escape from her because he told her that the gun had a real gun and she doesn't like to kill people. Later, she annoyingly used a real bullet to shoot him. She happily went to meet Mr. Yoshi without knowing that he was part of the Majina crew, but Takina came in front of them and pointed a gun at the treacherous man. To escape, he made them know that Chisato's alternate heart is connected to his, and this greatly angered Takina. Mr. Yoshi can be killed. Chisato accepted to die, but Takina wasn't happy. But a plane from Teach saved both ladies. Kurumi helped them to stop Robota's control over the control space. Later, Chisato discovered that Majina wasn't dead as he appeared before her, so she repeatedly shot him with fake bullets. Teach joined in the fight and he helped bring down Yoshi. To end the battle, Chisato and Majima pointed real guns at each other and the first person to fall off the high building loses. At one point, he tricked her, then shot her leg, causing her to fall from the high building, but she dragged him with her. Takina, who had quickly arrived at the scene, saved Chisato from falling. After the crisis had gone down, Takina and Chisato chatted happily together because she was saved. The end. Thanks for watching. Please, like, subscribe, and click the bell icon to get new anime recaps.